What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. More fan footage submitted this time by Max Schneider. And with me, Will Harden. Good to have you, buddy.
Hey, Jeff. I'm stoked.
Yeah, dude. So Max Schneider, better known as the bald, bearded bicyclist, submitted some footage. And the cool thing about Max is he's actually, I met Max. He's a member of the Couch to Crit Masterclass. He's been in some of the Q&As, and we are finally getting around to talking about your footage. Thanks for submitting, Max. This is a circuit race from Buffalo, Ohio. This is a Cat4-5 field. Or is it the 3-4? Do you remember?
It's 4-5 field.
4-5 field. What a fun-looking course this is, by the way. So it's like 8-mile laps. I think they did 5 of them or something like that. So ended up being about an hour and a half, 2-hour race. Rolling course. The plan that Max came in with his team project teammate, Jim, they have these red and black jerseys. They were like, we don't know if we can win from this about 30-rider field if it comes down to a field sprint. So let's not allow that to happen. Let's make it hard. And that's exactly what Max is doing right here, is making it hard. This isn't really like, I'm going to go solo for the next 40 kilometers. This is like make it hard type of riding. Is that what that looks like to you on this little riser?
Yeah, just giving it a little test, see if everybody's willing to also have a nice hard race.
Yeah, and as a field sprinter myself, I'm looking at this and I'm like, ugh, like I hate seeing somebody off the front early on in a race like this, especially somebody with a teammate. So, yeah, if I'm a sprinter and I'm looking at this and I'm frustrated with what Max is doing, it's probably a good thing, and this is a good move for making it hard. Let's fast forward a little bit and see what else they're able to pull together. Yeah, so they're about halfway through this race, actually less than halfway through this race. And they're hitting what is probably the main feature of this course, right, Will? It's like, I don't even know. It's not that big of a hill, but it's enough to really put pressure on the field. And you can see, I mean, he's doing almost 600 watts right now, 16 miles an hour. So it's pretty steep. And there's some separation. What's this look like? This looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a 90-second hill. They're going, 15, 16 miles an hour at high wattage, and his teammate's on the front here. His teammate is a self-identified climber, and he's doing it. Like they've got a good little gap here to the field. Everybody looks pretty strung out and hurting, but they get kind of over the top here, and this is a point where you got to keep the pressure on the pedals.
Yeah, I saw his power drop down a little bit, but then they're kind of back up here, which isn't bad. And I did notice in the rear camera, one more rider came across. This is actually a good thing. You don't really want, especially with 34 kilometers left, 2 teammates and then kind of this one odd man out with the yellow jersey, because it's hard to stay organized. If you're the 2 teammates, you have all the motivation in the world to make this 3-man breakaway successful. If you're the guy in the yellow, you're like, I'm not helping these 2 guys. They're just going to 1-2 me to death later on. So having this one extra rider balances things out. Plus, I've always said, like, a 4-rider breakaway is really the ideal number. Like, 2 is hard because you just don't have enough firepower. 8 is too many because you always have somebody who's going to sit on. So this looked really good. And I honestly thought, Will, when we first looked at this footage, I was like, that's it. The race is over. There is no way. These guys are rotating together. We'll fast forward a little bit. You can see everyone's rotating. They're playing nice, but they just didn't commit enough. And or the field behind was extra motivated, which is what we see as we fast forward a little bit further. This is Velocious Sport. This is like your teammate or something, right, Will? Who's this guy?
Yeah, one of the riders on our development team. I have no idea who this guy is, so
you'll let us know in the comments.
He's watching
I hope.
this,
yeah,
please do.
I thought this was a fast forwarded clip. Like he just like zoom, he just like flies away in the saddle, makes it look easy, and opens this big gap. And now it's kind of biting him. The Max and his teammate Jim are now like, yeah, we want to make it hard, but for other people, not us, because you don't want this group all of a sudden getting away without you in it. This looks kind of dangerous.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're going to make a lot of attacks in a race, expect to be countered at least once or twice, unless you have like 6 guys to cover everything. But this moment right here, I would be panicking a little bit more than I think they are now. Like, this is kind of rolling on the front.
Yeah, like
medium pace.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. He's like doing 250, It's like either do nothing or do 500. Like either get across or don't. This is another way of putting this is this is what I would be doing if I were Max and I had a teammate up the road. I'd be doing like this kind of fake pull on the front to allow my teammate to get a gap. So it's a bit of a strange decision here. But coming back to something you said, like, be prepared to get countered. I wanted to talk for a minute about, like, how do you save a little bit when you're making the race hard and you're joining this breakaway up the climb that we just saw a second ago? Are you always saving a little bit, like knowing when to always save one extra effort in case you get attacked versus like fully committing to a move? I think this is a really important skill in bike racing. And as a breakaway specialist yourself, Will, like, what are your thoughts on like that dynamic?
Yeah, I hate to give you the answer of it depends, but
it does. But it depends on what.
Yeah. Sometimes, like, there are particular parts of a course, or maybe the feelings of everyone else in the race, where you can go just all in. Like closer to the end of the race, you can do those all in moves. Like, if I get pulled back now, I'm probably not going to make it. And depending on your competition, like, you can go all out and still recover before you get dropped. But yeah, I'd say right now I would be burning at least one match. Save some in the tank, especially early in this race. You want to save a good few matches in the tank for this. Like, you're not going full gas on these efforts, but yeah, probe, see what works, and make everyone else hurt.
I didn't even think about that. Like, that's a good point you bring up. Like, look, if you know that even if I do get brought back, that one extra match isn't going to make a difference, I'm not going to be competitive in the end anyway, that's a time when you just go all in. The thing I was thinking of was I would go all in if it's like, look, I'm in a breakaway, all the teams are represented, this is the moment where it has the best possible chance of staying successful. That's when you go all in. That's another situation where you'd go all in. But yeah, I mean, bike racing's hard, and there's always a chance that you get counted. It doesn't go the way you want it to. In fact, most of the time, it doesn't go the way you want it to, and you have to be prepared for that. It's a funny sport, right? Like, you go out and play tennis, and it's like, well, one of us two people are going to win, me or my competition, right? 50% chance. Bike racing, you show up and there's like 100 guys, and that's why the wins are so special, right? Because they're rare. So anyway, let's fast forward and see if they're able to catch that little breakaway off the front. Yeah, so it does come back together, thankfully, for Max and his teammate. And there's the Velocious rider off the front. Oh, and the big counterattack by his teammate. Yeah. Oh, this is great. This is what you want. If you're making the race hard, they're doing a good job. And I wouldn't be doing 650 right now, right? Like, just let your teammate do his thing, Like, this is the whole point of the counterattack is like you don't have to chase your teammate, bro.
No, yeah, not at all. There are times, especially when you're one of the stronger guys in the race, you can just let some stuff happen, and like knowing you've got enough gas to pull it back if it goes south. And
in this situation, it would have to go really south. Like, your teammate would have to get dropped from this lead group. Like, the idea is your teammate's up there in a group of 3. And if it makes it, great. Look, you guys are represented. That's awesome. But if it doesn't, then your teammate is assured that you are going to be, on deck to do the next one. Mm-hmm. And he could have just let that go. It's a small thing, but I think that it was kind of an unnecessary surge in power, unnecessary burn of wattage that you're going to want to save for later in this race. But now they're kind of stuck on the front, and he kind of glued it back together, which, you wanted that gap to open up with a teammate in it.
I do kind of have, like, this opinion in races. It's kind of, like, one of my least favorite things when one of my other teammates goes, and then I know I just can't get into that move anymore. I hate missing a breakaway. Even if I've got a teammate up there, I'm like, okay, that's good. Like, I've got a teammate, but now I, like, just have to sit around. I don't know how you feel about that as a sprinter, Jeff.
Oh, I have different feelings about it. I'm 9 times out of 10 relieved. Like, oh, thank God, now I can rest. Because you and I are different that way. Like, you got that slow twitch muscle fiber, right? That, like, steady burn. You can ride at threshold all day, like, no problem. I am the opposite. I'm like, give me the field, give me the shelter, give me the draft. I want to save all the energy I can for the end. So when I see a teammate go off the front, yeah, I am almost always very happy that they are doing that, because then the whole idea is you're in this situation where they're up the road in the breakaway, and they're going, hey, I'm going to take soft pulls. I got a sprinter back there. Like, look, we can go to the line, but I'm not going to fully commit. And I'm back in the field going, yeah, like, I'm not chasing. I got a teammate in the breakaway. So you're trying to to play both sides of it, right? You're trying to save energy and put yourself in a race-winning position from a field sprint and from a breakaway, and that's the idea of teamwork, kind of in a nutshell. But as we've been talking, they're hitting this climb again after a series of like the chase back for the Velocious kid, the counterattack as a result, and now all of a sudden within a minute or two, they're doing a third and final effort up this climb. This looks like crunch time right here, Will. What do you think?
Yeah, everyone's hurting. You could see Jim in his rear view camera there. Like, he's going back into the field, doing a little sag climb at the top of the climb, which is a hard time to do that. So it is getting to a painful part in this race. It looks like everybody's had a few screws turned. So maybe a good point to attack.
Ooh, over the top, dude, right here.
Goodness.
If this were a P1-2 race, like the time to use the energy is over the top of a hill because you carry all the speed over the top. This front rider's tired, and that's how you can get an immediate gap. I was half expecting somebody just to launch right there. But they had they just all had their tickets punched. You can tell like the slow cadence, the low wattage, and the fact that his buddy Jim, who's the climber, was dropping back. You can tell it was a really hard effort. Yeah, so Max and his teammate have done a fantastic job to do exactly what their pre-race plan was, to make this race as hard as possible. We're started at, 30 riders, 35 riders, something like that, and now we are down to, 15 or something like that. And the final time up the climb, they're on the last lap here, and they got daylight. It's him and his teammate. You can see in the rear camera. They have daylight. Dude, this is the type of situation where you could just team time trial away and just go 1-2. I thought they were going to make that possible.
Yeah, me too. Enough daylight at the top of the climb like this, and they're like not pulling their punches hard at all. I would be going full in on this. This is the time. Burn that last match, just send it.
Yeah,
but
we talked earlier.
It looks like they don't have a lot.
We talked earlier about like when you really commit to it, and when it's you and a teammate with a gap, that's when you really commit to it, right? You don't have to worry about your break mate countering you because it's your teammate. And also, you can go above threshold, like do an unsustainable effort for 1 minute or 2 minutes just to completely demoralize your competition and then settle into something you can carry to the finish line. Like, you're truly teammates in this situation. Not just break mates. But they did get one extra rider with them, which is, again, like we talked about earlier. You know, this is kind of an interesting situation because, well, you tell me, Will, what are you doing if you're blue here? Sandwiched in between two teammates off the front inside the last lap.
Yeah, I mean, we actually talked about it. Really can depend. For me, I'd probably just be sitting on the back and like seeing if I can get away with them just taking me to the finish. But also, if you don't want them to attack you, if you don't think you can pull that off, maybe just do some soft, short pulls and treat it like you're participating in the breakaway, so they don't think you're just going to sprint them at the end.
Yeah, you beat me to it. It's funny that you and I have these different approaches, right? Because like you're like, yeah, just sit on the back and then like eventually try to counter them and try to win solo, or or like whatever your strong guy approach is. Me, I'm like, I am going to play nice. Like, I want that peaceful, like, let's just rotate and be friends, and then I'll beat you guys, in a 3-up sprint, because that's my strength. Like, I would want this to come back together as consistent as possible, and that's kind of looks like his approach right here. Like, I don't know, this is a Cat4 race. These guys aren't super experienced, so it's kind of hard to tell based on their actions what their motivations are. I think that a lot of people, when they're first coming up into racing, that's what these guys are. These are Cat4 racers. They're just excited, like, oh my god, I've done it. I'm in the breakaway. Like, I must ride hard now. And that's generally the mistake I see for breakaway riders is like you always got to stay sharp. You always have to think about what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And if you're blue, don't take too hard a pulse because you're like it's just going to be a matter of time before these riders in the red team project are going to start to attack, counterattack, are going to start to save one of the guys for a sprint. Let's talk about that for a second, actually. What's the approach now? We've talked about blue. What's the approach now if you are on Team Project? Because the way I see it, there's kind of two different ways you could play it. What do you think, Will?
Yeah, if I were in this situation with a teammate, I know we're two strong guys in the race. I mean, this guy, their brake mate, is also pretty strong. But I want to get first. That's priority number one. And second is icing on the cake. So my strategy to this would be just 1-2 attacking this guy. Yeah. Like, send an attack, you have the other guy sit on his wheel, and just wait until he breaks. Like, you've got the horsepower of two guys. use it. And if you can wait until that other guy breaks and then you out sprint him at the end, that's just icing on the cake. But win overall. You look like a total jerk if this guy beats you.
Yeah. It happens. Do you remember that quick step race? This will be a deep callback, but it was
Ben Swift?
Het Nieuwsblad, like from oh my god, you guys got to look this up if you haven't, from 8 years ago or something. It's a long time. And there were like it was like a 3 versus 1. Team Skyrider beat them, and maybe even a 4 versus 1, and pros get it wrong too. So yeah, the 1-2 I'd say is probably the most common way in this situation to win if you have 2 out of 3 teammates in this breakaway. But there is another option here. If you're confident you have the strongest sprinter, you have to be confident. That's an important prerequisite here to this other strategy. Then have the stronger sprinter stop taking pulls, and then have your teammate on the other teammate on team project just drive the pace. Make sure you guys stay together. You keep the chasers away. You keep it fast until the finish, and then just let the faster sprinter do his faster sprint and win. That is really, you're depending on that faster sprinter to seal the deal. I think generally the attack counterattack is the way to go. But there's kind of 2 different ways to play it. If you know your strengths, know your weaknesses, which as a Cat4s sometimes you don't. But let's fast forward to see actually how this plays out in real life. And as we fast forward, final 2 kilometers, they're actually caught by a chase group of, I think, 4. So there's a group of 7 or so here in the finish. Only 2 teammates are our protagonist here, Max, and his teammate Jim. So the pressure's kind of on them in this situation to make something happen. And this scares me, honestly, is watching this solo rider roll off the front, because this shows that they're losing control of the race here, and they have to make sure it stays together. And it's kind of on them, right, Will? Like, as the only guys with teammates, I wouldn't depend on anybody else. And then this rider on the front looking over his right-hand shoulder is very telling. Power comes down, speed comes down, that gap's opening up, and I'm glad that his buddy Jim here is gonna step on it here for him, because somebody's got to do something, right?
Yeah, this is a great move from Jim. I think if you've got a teammate who can sprint better than you, you really just have to bite the bullet and set that tempo. Do that lead out. Make sure he doesn't get attacked and gets isolated, because this is going to be your greatest help as a teammate to get that victory, which is what you're after in this reduced bunch sprint.
Right. Yeah, you don't want like second and third. You don't want like fourth and fifth. Like you just want first and then last. It doesn't really matter. You want the first, right? Now, this is an interesting thing. They caught, but then he sits up. Now, this was so dangerous. I'm looking at this. I'm like, where's the counterattack?
Yeah.
That if you are not happy with your field sprint, that moment right there where that front rider was caught, everyone slows down. Massive slingshot, all in counterattack for the last kilometer. Like that was a race-winning opportunity, kind of lost. But anyway, they got lucky there. Team Project got lucky because now he kind of regroups, catches his breath, gets on the front, and this is what I like to see. Now at this point, you kind of are. They forced your hand. You kind of have to lead it out. And what's the correct speed to go if you're Jim? It is just fast enough to not get countered, but not so fast that you're going to drop your sprinter off with anything more than 250 meters to go. You want your speed to be continually increasing, and if I'm Jim, the rider on the front, I'm looking back more than I'm looking forward. You don't have to worry about any obstacles in front of you. You're just looking at the field. You're going to respond to counterattacks. You're going to make sure your teammate's on, and you really have to be keenly aware of what's going on behind you. That's why I'd be looking back a lot more than I think he took one peek, and that was it. But now we're 350 meters to go. You have to be really increasing the speed right here. I'm not really sure why Max is letting a gap open up, but he gets attacked on the right, and now it's just like, dude, get in that draft.
Yeah, jump on.
Oh, he's eating so much wind from like 350 meters to go. And now this is just whoever has the most left. He gets a little bit of draft here. I think that made all the difference. I think he just got in the draft, got a little bit of reprieve, got maybe an extra half a mile an hour. And yeah, I mean, these aren't big sprint numbers, guys, but remember how hard they made it. That was their plan from the beginning. They made it as hard as possible, and they're rewarded with the win. This is like really good team strategy executed in Cat4s. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there were a few places where like they could have had a little bit more effect as a team, but honestly, overall, A+ for Cat4 team racing.
and they're rewarded with second place. Not just first, but first and second. Yeah.
Icing on the cake.
Shout out Max, proud member of the Masterclass. Super cool, man, to see people who have graduated the Couch to Crit Masterclass off winning races. So if you guys have footage that you want to submit, don't be shy. There is a link in the description. It's a Google form. It takes just a couple minutes of your time, and we'll break down your race footage. Hope to meet you guys in the Masterclass live Q&A. There's a link for that down below too. Scholarships are available. So thanks again, Will, for coming on. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.